Hi everyone, I want to talk to you a little bit about advertorials, and these are features in magazines that are really advertisements, but they are designed to look like editorial content. And if you flip through a magazine in the past couple months or even past couple years, you've no doubt come across an advertorial, whether you realize it or not. So I've got some examples I want to show you about what these advertorials look like. Here's one for a particular food company, and if you look at the layout, you look at the design, you look at the pictures and the way the text is formatted, it looks like a regular article. However, it is really an advertisement that's sponsored by this particular frozen food company. And if you look here at the very top of the screen and at the top of the picture, you can see it says advertisement feature. Now that's the thing about advertorials, they are supposed to indicate that they are an advertisement, but sometimes it can be very tricky to see that. Here's another great example. This is a really well done advertorial for BMW because the advertisement part is at the very bottom of the page, so you're more likely to be drawn in by looking at the top of the page, and you see that the text is formatted like you would expect in any number of men's or women's or general interest magazines. The photo spread looks great. It doesn't look like a typical advertisement. Instead, it looks like more like an editorial content. And if you flip through any magazine today, I think you'll have no problem finding an advertorial. This is advertising content, again, designed to look like editorial content. Now, we've got some pretty interesting questions to think about here. What's the potential problem with this type of advertisement? You can come up with your own ideas, but one you might want to consider is that a lot of people don't realize they are advertisements. A lot of people think that they are just part of the magazine, and that can be misleading if you're reading a magazine and you come across an advertorial and you think that it is relatively unbiased, supposedly objective editorial content when really it's not. Do you think these should be allowed in magazines or regulated in any way? This is a big issue and a big important area of debate. You at some point in your career might have to make decisions about advertorials. In fact, one of my colleagues who went to graduate school with me started working at Southern Living, and for her job interview she had to essentially create an advertorial based on a product. So you might someday be asked to do an advertorial yourself. You might need to make a decision about whether it belongs in a magazine or publication that you're part of, and whether or not this type of thing should be regulated, because it is technically advertising content. Interesting things to consider whenever we deal with magazines, and wanted to make sure I explained that before you headed over into the discussion forums.